I'm good. How are you? Good afternoon, everybody. It is 1:32, and the Board of Commissioners special meeting is called to order. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Black?
Present.
Vice Mayor Hodges? Commissioner Weinstein? Commissioner Andrews?
Here.
Commissioner Douthat?
Present.
Next item on the agenda is public comment. This is for anything that is not on the agenda today. If you wish to speak on those items when we get to them, you'll have a moment, time to do that then. Does anybody wish to speak? Public comment is now closed. First item, or the next item, Resolution 2019-16. Director Pierce?
Madam Mayor, I'll have the clerk read the resolution.
Resolution 2019-16, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners for the City of Madeira Beach, Pinellas County, Florida, amending the budget for fiscal year 2019, beginning October 1, 2018 through September 30th, 2019, by increasing the general fund, Archibald Building, and gas fund appropriations and expenditures and providing for an effective date.
Madam Mayor and Commissioners, the intent of Resolution 2019-16 is to amend the FY 2019 budget, specifically the general fund, Archibald Building, and gas funds. And this is kind of typical at this time of the end of the year. State statutes, we have 60 days to amend the budget and basically bring the budget in line with the budget. And we have a 60-day limit to do that, which we're in that window. Exhibit A attached to the resolution basically is adjusting the general fund revenue for reimbursements that the city received from FDOT, Gulf Boulevard, and resurfacing project. Both of these projects were fully budgeted in FY 2018, but not budgeted for the amount of revenue reimbursement received in 19 due to possible delays. The amendments increasing the budget specifically in the revenues by $900,100 for the FDOT Gulf Boulevard resurfacing project in the general fund, and the Gulf Boulevard County funding for underground utilities of $760,900. And again, this is just to bring the amounts that we received in 2019 in line with the budget. The next item in the exhibit A basically displays certain departmental accounts that where the budget needs to be adjusted to take in consideration some overages that happened, and specifically, and I'll go down these line by line, salaries and wages for the city manager's account needed to be adjusted by $14,700 due to final payout of the former city manager, which some aspects of that was not foreseen when we budgeted. It didn't stop. And so this coming year, coming forward, we've learned some lessons, and we've already had a good meeting with the department heads to indicate that going forward, we want some of these purchases to be done during the year instead of a mad rush at the end of the year to buy purchases. It has to be a little bit organized at the end of the year, and I actually had a deadline of October 10th, where that was the last day of invoices for the previous year, and that it got extended actually till the 25th of October, and I kept telling the city manager about it because he heard my heartburn. And again, we have communicated good the last 2 years with our vendors to know what our deadlines are, but they can only react based on the needs of the departments.
Well, thank you. No, Walt, that's a terrific answer, okay? Because I want to know that going forward that that's what we're going to do. But, you know, I just, like I said, these last minute things drive me nuts because I am now responsible to tell the people of Madeira Beach why we went over budget when a budget was handed. A lot of people spend a lot of time on the budget. We have a budget committee to do that. So it's kind of a knock on them that we went over the top of that without, some of these things aren't mission critical, and that bothers me. If there's going to be a budget amendment, boy, there better be some reason, and there better be nowhere else to find the money in order to do that. I mean, what's the fire budget, $1.8 million? We can't find, there was not $26,000 somewhere in the fire budget to pay for that? But I do appreciate your answer, and I do look forward to this year being much more fiscally responsible. But I had to put it on the record because I didn't want just that conversation between us to be private.
One more thing for the board, Mayor and Commissioners. We did have, City Manager and I had a meeting with the Budget Review Committee to go over this, and it was kind of twofold, to show them what we were presenting, but also in preparation for next year's budget exactly, and some of what the Commissioner just, points that he just made. You know, as we go into next year's budget, please, this is to inform the Budget Review Committee, be aware of this. So we're sitting down with the department heads and going over their budget. You know, they will have this in front of them, and we can make sure that we're budgeting for the right things and what the departments need, and that they have the funds to cover those needs.
I'll open the floor for public comment.
Robert Preston, 425 South Bayshore Drive, Madeira Beach. One of these days we'll get this thing fixed. Did I misunderstand our finance director that $290,000 for fill-in for Frank, or is that correct?
One amendment was in the building department for $29,100 for professional services, where that amendment or that entry was needed due to the expenditures going into the red by that amount.
Okay, so it wasn't more than that. Okay, that's, I really think that we need to provide another building inspector for the city so that we keep things on track, people get their questions answered, whatever the case may be. I think we need to look at either maybe a part-time or something like that, and that was mentioned a little bit. And I walk my dog, I talk to people that are building homes and stuff like this. I have not, it could be very well that they don't have a clear understanding of what's supposed to be done, but some of them have contractors working for them. But their homes are delayed by months and months and months, and it costs them thousands of dollars to rent another place while this is happening. And I think we need some clarification for these folks and maybe a little bit of help. The city's here to help people and not to, and keep things legal, I understand that. Follow the law. But people are looking for advice and help and how to do things. I'm used to a city government that used to be glad to answer questions, help people get to the end so they can get a certificate of occupancy. So I don't know what the issues are, whether they need some assistance, but that's about the only thing I hear. I don't hear a lot of really good things. I just hear bad things. And that could be just because of the way things are happening. And I remember at our last meeting, regular meeting, we had a lady come up that had problems with her home. And I think there needs to be some clarification written down. These are the things that are expected of you to achieve a certificate of occupancy. Thank you.
Does anybody else wish to speak? Public comment is now closed.
Madam Mayor, can I just make one more comment?
Certainly.
I do want to, I don't want to forget about this. I do want to thank the Budget Review Committee for all their work. You know, it seems like I lost count of the number of times we met. I know it was more than 10, and Doreen's laughing. They were just such a tremendous help to me, and the best thing that we did is write down all those recommendations when we brought them to the board. I can't tell you where we would be if that didn't happen and happen that way. So I feel like, I'm joined at the hip with them, and there is a good relationship there, and it's only going to get better because we have 2 new people on the team, and I think it's going to get even better. So.
Any more discussion from the board? No? Okay.
We need to
In
make
that
a
case-
motion to pass it, don't we?
Right.
Okay, I'll make a motion to pass Resolution 2019-16.
I'll second it.
Will City Clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Douther?
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews?
Yes.
Mayor Black?
Yes. Next, we have Resolution 2019-17.
And Madam Mayor, I'll let the clerk read the resolution.
Resolution 2019-17, a resolution of the City of Madeira Beach, Pinellas County, Florida, amending the fiscal year 2019 budget by decreasing capital outlay expenditures, amending the fiscal year 2020 budget by increasing capital outlay expenditures, and providing for an effective date.
And Madam Mayor and Commissioners, the purpose of this resolution, 2019-17, is geared toward capital projects and specifically budgetary balances that will be carried over. And we've done this before in years past, and carry forward from one fiscal year to the next. And typically, what this is if there was a budget amount last year, in last year's FY19, that nothing was spent or only a limited amount was spent, we do want to roll those balances into the new 2020 year so that we can continue those projects and we have those funds available. And the amount that we're, and in a sense, what we're doing is we're reducing the balances in 19 by $1,762,206.30 and reappropriating them into the new fiscal year, into the 2020 budget. And to be specific, there's 12 projects here. The first one is capital improvement, military court of honor, is $33,941.85. Municipal complex improvements, $128,202.
Yes.
Mayor Black?
Yes. There being no further business, we are adjourned at 2:02. It's still 2:02, and the Board of Commissioners workshop meeting is called to order. Excuse me. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Black?
Present.
Commissioner Andrews?
Here.
Commissioner Douther?
Present.
Vice Mayor Hodges? Commissioner Weinstein?
The floor is now open for public comment on anything that is not on the agenda. Floor is closed.
Madam Mayor, if I may, we've had some changes. Item A is going to be postponed to the December workshop meeting. Item B is they were unable to attend today, so that'll be postponed as well to the December workshop meeting. And I'm moving, at the request of the presenter, I'm moving item D up to the first position, and then we'll fall back to C, E, F, G, H, I, J.
Thank you. So now we have the presentation. I've lost my place.
The traffic.
Traffic light
Right.
request. Gentlemen?
D.
John Lipa, 399 150th Avenue. Thank you for this opportunity, Madam Mayor and City Manager. Thank you for coming to our condo association and hearing our plea, and as a result of that, we're on this agenda, so we appreciate that respect. What I want to talk to you about is Amendment 9.1.1. I think you all should have a document that looks like this. And I'll try to go through it quickly to be respectful of your time. 9.1.1 was the outgrowth of our discussions back in 2016 when the discussion in the city was in earnest about the developments on Madeira Way and at Gulf Boulevard. And at that time, most of the discussions were about height, density, and intensity. And we were arguing we have to figure in safety. So 9.1.1 contains three elements. One, relocate the traffic light from Madeira Way up to 150th Avenue, 399. No turn on red going northbound on Gulf Boulevard at the 150th, and work with this Coast Guard to adjust the bridge openings to better modulate traffic. So what caused all this concern about the safety? One, if you look at your own city master plan for this area, it states that you can't get across 150th Avenue safely going north-south. It's all east-west driven. And your own document says there's no safe way to cross 150th Avenue between Madeira Beach, to access Madeira Beach Causeway. There's no safe way to cross 150 between the bridge and Madeira Way, and the vehicular speed on 150th Avenue impedes vehicular and pedestrian crossings. That, now with this new development up here on 150th with the two new condos going in, at that time we saw there was going to be a problem. The problem is you're creating a new four-way intersection was being created. The exit and entrance off the two condos A and B up here are going to be directly opposite the exit that we have at 399 150th. So we can see a problem there. Larry will walk you through the various problems that we see trying to get across and why we think a traffic light is needed. Larry, you want to take care?
Larry Roloff's 399 150th Avenue. If you can turn to this page here, it's our diagram of coming out of the driveway of Madeira Cove. And the average driver is going to be faced with 9 decision points before he can make a left turn. So if you look at the bottom of that, you see cars, Madeira Cove vehicles. You're coming out to face 150th Avenue. You see the cars coming eastbound. That's items 1 and 2 on the diagram. Shame you guys can't see this. Coming westbound on 150th Avenue, you see items 3 and 4, those vehicles. So there's 4 lanes of traffic you have to decide about. Now, the new left turn lane going into the new condos on the north side of 150th Avenue is now yet another challenge. And the already existing left turn lane to go into our driveway is yet another challenge. Then you have the sidewalk people, items 8 and 9 on the drawing. So there are 9 challenges when a person comes out and wants to make a left turn lane. We do believe accidents are going to occur. Some could be fatalities. So this is the basis of our concern for wanting you to support a traffic light at our driveway and the driveway coming out of condos A and B when they're finished. So I'll turn it back to John.
The next page in that presentation is the articulation of what Larry just recounted, so you can reference that in the future. The developer at the time and the residents that were in agreement that a traffic light needed to be relocated. We, the developer, and some of the owners went to meet the FDOT along with the city officials to plead our case. I missed one other point, but when Larry mentioned about the vehicle traffic increasing, I asked at that time, I think it was Officer, I can't remember his name, Leonard, I think it was, and he presented this from the Pinellas County Sheriff's. He got this data together about the accidents on 150th Avenue between the bridge and Gulf Boulevard. And there's two seasons, the summer vacation season and the snowbird season. And during the summer vacation season, June to August, there were 22 accidents. Now, these were back in 2015. These dates, this presentation hasn't been updated since then. But July was the peak month when 9 accidents occurred in that stretch. The snowburn season, February to May, there were, again, 22 accidents, and again, 9 accidents in the peak month, March. Now, I had a friend from back in Massachusetts who contacted me last month and asked me if I could find a place for them to rent in Madeira Beach during February. I called a number of realtor firms, and they said, oh my God, February is as bad as March now. And there was only, believe it or not, there were only 7 units that he could consider renting in the month of February. That was all that was available in our city. So 41% increase of accidents in 2015 in May and July over that 2-month period, and 31% increase over the previous 2 years back in 2015. We got more people coming, and with the developments, even more people are coming, so more accidents are bound to happen. The people on the south side of 150th Avenue who live in Snug Harbor, where you live, Mr. Mayor Black, and John, where you live in Boca Vista, and I live in Madeira Cove. We were so concerned back then, we all got together and we signed letters, individual letters that we presented to the city, which said, if we needed to get a traffic light, Boca Vista would let Snug Harbor drive through their property to get to our driveway, and we would let both Boca Vista and Snug Harbor drive through our property. We'll tear down a wall and make a common access. That's how crazy it was. That's how concerned people were about their safety. So, out of that, the amendment was born. It was incorporated in the document that lives today to allow the developments to occur. We're asking the city, we're asking you to be our support chorus, to join us with our effort to get this 9.1.1, especially the traffic light, relocated, to work with us, to work with the developer, to work with FDOT, to work with other local officials. We know FDOT is reticent about relocating that traffic light. As they told me, we don't care about north-south traffic, we only care about east-west traffic, but we care about north-south traffic because it's our lives. So safety's got to be the concern. We ask you to not only support this, but to ask the city manager to work with us to, as he said, we can bear, this is one obstacle after another that we have to knock down to make it happen. We're willing to work. Hope you guys will work with us, and and we thank you for your time. And I'll ask any questions you have.
I got a couple. You said that Boca Vista and Snug Harbor agreed on cutting.
Yeah, we all got together.
I don't know who you talked to.
We have, the letters are on file in the city.
Okay, but recently, as the president of Boca Vista, we've talked to the owners, and they want nothing to do with that.
Okay, well, what I said, John, this was back in 2016.
Okay,
Hasn't been revisited since then.
so I don't know who signed it back then, because
It was he moved to Dunedin, the president at the time. I can't remember his name.
talking about Dennis.
Dennis.
Okay, because he wasn't the president then, I was. So I don't know why he would sign it, because I've been the president since 14.
I don't know, he said he was, so that's what he signed it.
Who signed it for Madeira, who signed it for Snug Harbor?
Oh, I can't remember. I don't have a copy of it. They're all here, but we can go probably look through the files and find them. They're all here.
I was probably on the board at the time, and I don't recall ever voting on that.
Yeah.
I remember discussing it, but that's as far as it got. And I just recently asked our association manager if we'd approved that, and he said absolutely not.
Well, I could tell you, three letters were presented to the city.
Well, when you told me that, a while ago, I was surprised. And I didn't say anything when we went to the meeting, because I didn't think it was true, but I didn't know.
I think, Larry, you remember who the president of Snug Harbor at the time was? I think it was from Canada, wasn't it? Was there a guy from Canada back then?
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was the president, and I think I can't remember his name. But irregardless of that, I mean, the issue still is
That's a
safety.
safety issue,
Yeah. If, we're hoping you'll see the merits in our request to have that traffic light relocated, and also the other elements of 9.1.1. That's it. And I'm sorry for all that confusion over there, but at that time, I remember we had the meeting at our condo clubhouse, and that's when all that came to be. Even the developer was there at the meeting when those letters were developed.
All right.
Okay.
Bob, could you get us copies of those letters? I'd like to see them, please.
Yeah, I'll try to locate them. I would imagine they're probably going to be in the file dealing with the town center development, but I will check and see.
My next question has to do with this help. How many full-time, year-round residents do you have at Madeira Cove?
Full-time
Yeah,
residents?
how many that are not snowbirds at Madeira Cove?
About 50%, 60%?
Well, there's always guests all the time. So we have 60 units, about 140 residents, about average of 50 to 60 cars coming and going.
I hate to disturb you, but we are sending this out, so if you can step up to the microphone and talk, we can hear you.
Year-round, we have probably almost all the units, because we have a lot of renters, a lot of guests that come in during the summer months when about 25 of our 60 units are vacant, but they're not really vacant. So it's really insignificant how many are coming and going. It's year-round.
My next question is, how does this serve Snug Harbor or Boca Vista turning west on 150th? Because when we run into the same, both of these,
Yeah,
run into the
the
same.
reason why, at the time, John, when all the discussion was about how do we get access, all three of us, all three condos, because the proposal was to take that light out, and there would be no modulation device from the other, by Publix, all the way down by Dume, all the way over to Gulf Boulevard. There would be no light, and there would be no break in the traffic. Right now, if you're probably experiencing this like we're experiencing, trying to get out of your driveway now with the construction going on and the light not working. There's no red light now, it's all green, and the traffic coming off of Gulf Boulevard is nonstop. You can't get out, so that's how it helps. This would be the stopgap for not only us, but Boca Vista and Snug Harbor, so you can get out.
You know, how do I say this? Doing away with the light at Madeira Way is crazy, number one, but it's going to happen. I understand that because there's going to be no left turns off Madeira Way. So that's a given. So how do we correct the problem for everyone? And one of the things I proposed, 8, 9 months ago, I don't know, maybe a little bit longer, is to put a roundabout there. You know, that's the only way to really slow the traffic down. Because right now, even leaving Madeira Way, going to the bridge with that red light, by the time they get to your property or to where I live or to where she lives, people are going 30 to 50 miles an hour.
Or like
When
50.
When there's no light and they're going to start at Gulf Boulevard and start running, who knows how fast they'll be going. I mean, they fly up there. We've had one of our residents killed.
Yes, I know.
So You know, I understand that, but how do we handle all the problems, is what I'm trying to figure out.
And the other thing to keep in mind about that is that now there's going to be a new element. It's the new developments on the other side of the road, all trying to come out at the same, going east and west. And it's an accident looking for, it is a place to happen for an accident. There's no doubt in mind there's going to be a lot of accidents.
And I agree, but I don't know if moving the red light from Madeira Way to 399 is the answer, or is a roundabout. I don't know what the answer is, and I don't know if we need to do a study or have a study done to really determine what the best solution for safety is. We do have a safety issue, and I understand that, and I agree with you 100% on that part of it. You know, but how do we handle it? How do we correct the safety issue? And I don't know, you know, to slow them down. You know, you got people coming in and out with the new condos going up on the north side. It's even going to be more traffic, and
then you're going to get the other development going up.
down at the end by the
Past-
bridge.
It's
gonna be even crazier.
Holiday Isles, whatever they're calling that development now. There's, more condos and more hotels and, more.
Because I know right now, most of the people that I talk to from Snug Harbor and from Boca Vista, they're turning right, going across the bridge to make a U-turn to come back down
I do it frequently myself.
because you can't get across.
You
So-
can't, yeah.
So, I don't, no, city manager, I don't know what we need to do, but I think this really needs to be looked into and give us some options.
I'll look into it and have some options for you.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if I'll have it for the December meeting, but definitely we can do it before the January meeting.
Thank you.
This one other thing, if I may ask the city manager, is there any possibility, as you said it when we met, getting the developer to put a temporary no turn on red sign up at the intersection there right now to give a break so everybody can at least have a shot to get out?
I did look into it, and they got a permit for all the roadway construction signs, and DOT would not let them restrict the right turns on red.
You know, and we talked about that before, and what came out at the meeting here was most people said, well, we'll just cut down by Dockside Dave's and take the back street, or cut through the car wash parking lot or Bank of America parking lot to get over there if we can't turn right on the red. People stood in
Yeah,
and said that.
I'm sure. All right. Any other questions? Thanks for a good discussion. Thank you. You brought up some issues that I didn't realize, and I hope you can find those letters, but I can tell you they're real. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll open the floor for public comment on this item.
Mayor, Commissioners, City Staff, Bill Kearns, 11055 9th Street East, Treasure Island. First, I'd like to address Jonathan's comment about the roundabout. That issue during the development phase and design, that was looked at. The radius is just way too great to encroach into both the north and south side properties. So that wasn't possible, but it was something that was talked about early on. I think we're seeing it right now with just one lane of traffic coming in and out now. And you're seeing a continuous flow of traffic. Madeira Way, when the project's complete, that's going to be a blinking yellow light. The only time that light is going to turn red is when someone hits a pedestrian crossing, either coming north or south across 150th Avenue. So that flow is going to be more steady now than it ever has been. I think the benefit to the Snug Harbor residents and the Boca Vista, along with the Madeira Cove residents, when you take and relocate that traffic light, it's going to stop traffic. It's going to stop traffic to allow the cars to make a left going out of Madeira Cove, and to make, left-hand turns coming out of the Condo B, as it's affectionately known as. So by having that light there, that frees up a space so all the residents in Boca Vista and all of the residents in Snug Harbor can have an opportunity to make that left-hand turn. I don't believe in all these median changes that are being done. I don't believe Snug Harbor is going to be able to make a left-hand turn as I was looking. And if you notice the S median that's been placed out in front now that goes as you're coming westbound to make a left-hand turn into Madeira Cove, that median's been changed and it's like an S. I was just wondering why we weren't able to do that same situation where you could have the left-hand turn coming into Snug Harbor, reduce that down, because I thought the driveway going into Snug Harbor was now being moved slightly to the west. The curb cut and the entrance into the city marina, I don't know if that's still the case, but talking to the civil contractor that's out there working, I believe that is the case. So I don't think Snug Harbor is, with the way the new medians are being done, I don't think you'll be able to make a left-hand turn there anyway. You're stuck going right. I think that stops the traffic and gives everybody an opportunity to get safely out of their properties. I think it'd be a good idea to relocate that light. Thank you.
Mr. City Manager, for just education purposes only, what is our role in this as a city? I mean, that's a state road, county road?
State road.
State road. So what say do we, I'd love to be able to help you guys. I mean, I think it's, we got to figure out something because it seems like it's a kind of a wacky situation there, but what role would we play in this going forward?
Well, you have a couple options. One of them is to send a recommendation to FDOT that they include a traffic light on 150th. My understanding is there were already traffic warrant studies done, and probably with the 3 letters that were discussed, so combining the 3 condominiums to one location, and it still didn't meet the traffic warrants. So again, that's an assumption those letters went with it. I haven't verified that as yet. So chances are, without any funding for a light, it will get pushed back. It could be a request that we would make, but it would be pushed back. As I mentioned when I attended the Homeowners Association, if they had funding for a light, FDOT becomes a little bit more agreeable. If they had a recommendation from our commission